like to kind of get everyone's origin story, especially for the two of you, like kind of what got you to the place where you met each other and worked together. So I've never had to do this with two people. The only other time I've had multiple people in my interview, they were twins, so their origin story
basically
was
the same
story.
Twins aren't two people. If you're a twin and you're watching this, you're one person. You're half a person.
We talked a lot about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that'll be out soon. But after yours, so that will have already been out. Anyway.
I would love for that to be, by the way, like the entire comment section is, who's this data bro? My mom and her sister are twins. This is offensive. I'm just kidding.
What would that call it? Twinism, maybe? Would that be
twinism, yeah.
But your
origin story.
In addition to being a twinist, what else can we know about you?
Me, how I got into the Ben's at Home thing is I'm an actor. I love acting. That's what I do. And I've been an actor in Toronto for many, many years. And, you sort of learn as an actor that, you have the choice. If you want, you can just wait for the phone to ring, or you can try and create your own work. So after a while of waiting for the phone to ring, started up a sketch comedy troupe called Awkward Silence. And so we performed around Toronto, and we were invited to some comedy festivals and stuff like that, and that was a lot of fun. And then I kind of decided to turn some of those sketches that we did on stage into short films. And so I did that, and then to my delight, they had a bit of a festival life. So we played like 20 odd film festivals with the different short films that I did, which were also super, super, basically cost nothing. Like we, again, got favors, and I happened to know a bunch of actors in Toronto that were able to help out. And then, riding the momentum of that, I found myself on a set of Mars's short film, The High Note, and me and and a buddy, we had another short film that we wanted to make, so I approached Mars about maybe working together on that one, and that was Taller.
You do a lot of other things though as well, like photography and all that other stuff. Was that just kind of, you weren't acting and so you wanted to pick something up, or?
Yeah, well, so for the past 10 years I would go out for almost exclusively like commercials and like one-liners here and there, and I did pretty well. Like I booked a whole bunch of those things, but it wasn't enough it's not a reliable source of income, right? So I always loved photography, I got into portrait photography about 10 years ago. I opened up a studio called Callback Headshots, and we do portrait photos for actors, for corporate people, for whomever needs it. And so that's been sort of kind of my steady day job. That's what I do, like as a 9-to-5, pretty well. But then, in a perfect world, the next movie, we get enough money that we're able to actually pay ourselves, which is crazy. Like Ben's at Home, we did not get paid anything. And I would love nothing more than to just do that, just write with Mars, and make movies, TV, whatever. Just that's where I'd like to go, is writer, actor, that's it.
Yeah. Did you always have the writing passion too?
No. Yes. Because the sketch comedy, when I think about it, I did do for a very, very long time. I'm like 30-something now. And I started the sketch comedy when I was like 21. So, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It started off with the acting, but then then I very quickly went into improv and then sketch comedy from there. So I've been writing like sketches and short films for at least 10 years. But then Ben's at Home is our first feature. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I have been writing for a while.
Learning new things about yourself.
This is amazing.
So therapeutic. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I do. We're on the couch.
We are on the couch. It's true.
It's a different. Didn't want to make it seem so like therapy type.
Yeah.
I'm a writer.
Look back at your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Mars?
Well, I guess I've always been a bit of a jack of all trades, like in the arts. So I did a lot of visual art, like painting and music, photography. And then when I discovered there was filmmaking, and it kind of encompassed all of those things. Like, that was a perfect fit for me. So I think pretty young, like in my early teens, I was like, I want to be a director. I didn't know what that meant, but I was just like, that's what I'm gonna do. And yeah, so then I guess like I just continued. Like, I was in a band. I used to do a lot of writing and, like I said, like painting and stuff. And
She's
then,
a really good painter.
I haven't painted in a long time, but then I went to film school. And so I went to Ryerson in Toronto. And so in film school, I was just like, any chance I got to make a film, I would. So like, I think I have like a really like yes sort of personality. Like, I don't know what the project is. Yes, I'll do it, and then we'll see. And I think like that has been really productive, because it's gotten me into weird sort of just, I don't know, I've ended up on different projects that have somehow ended up being helpful to my career. And then after film school, I was lost. I didn't know what I was doing, and I applied to the film center. I didn't get in right away. And then I had this like year of like waitressing and reading a lot of books and like being like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then the next year I applied again, and I got into the Canadian Film Center residency, and that was great. That was really eye-opening, because I didn't know how the industry worked. I just knew like I wanted to make films, but I didn't understand like just what, like, how do you do this? Like, what's a producer? How do you, you know? So it was really an education in that way, and got to really learn how to talk about my work and about myself and network and meet with people. Like, that's a whole other like art in itself in the industry. Yeah.
I find a lot with film school, because I went there for a short period of time, and then I think it was like 5 or 6 years later that I'm like, oh, I was a group on this project. I had no idea, because they just throw you in and you do everything, and it's great.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, like you didn't quite understand how the industry works,
Yeah.
Because that's kind of one of the things that the people don't realize, that there are like certain things that you do, and people can overlap, but you still need to know what you're doing in that one particular role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I find like, especially with Ben's at Home, like again, like with weird projects that I was on this, working with York University and their law department. They had like a media lab. It was like the weirdest job, but I was suddenly in charge of like buying equipment for the whole lab, and I had no idea. Like, but then I learned like what like different like grip equipment was, like clamps and like C-stands and whatever. Like suddenly I knew, and so and it was so annoying, and I was like trying to wrap my head around this thing. But because of that, like I just found, okay, suddenly like I can be a producer, because I understand like what all the elements are, and I know how to kind of put it together. And so I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of little things, or like editing, like I kind of do a little bit of everything. Like I've shot stuff, I've edited stuff, and I feel like you kind of empowering yourself in that way. And then like writing is like that big one that really empowers you, because if I was always thinking, oh, I'd work with another writer and I'd direct their stuff. I like writing, but why like I might as well work with writers and that's their thing. But then you realize it's really hard to find a script that speaks to you, and like once you start writing your own stuff, it's like nobody can take that away from you. Yeah. You can always do that, and that's such a great feeling, because like even when you're like in between work or feeling down, you're like, I can write, and like fuck you world, you can't stop me, and like this is mine.
That's your first swear.
It's my second.
I'm doing
Second.
too, so anyway, so that's been kind of like since Canadian Film Center, it's just been just a bunch of different things that have kind of led up to this point, and a lot of interesting stuff happening in TV, and like, you know, down the road, I'm sure Dan and I are, you know, we've talked about it loosely, developing like TV stuff. So yeah, but it's a long game. It's about staying in the ring, and you start seeing more people like step out, and you're still in there, and I think that's a big part of it, is just like staying in the ring and not giving up.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like a daily exhaustion thing, like almost every day, at least for me. Like I feel like I have to motivate myself. I'm like, yes, like all the work that I'm doing right now is going to be worth it in the end. I'm like, do you find that, or is it such a big dream and passion for you that you can keep going?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see myself ever giving up on this, just because I love it too much. But yeah, you do have to kind of constantly motivate yourself, because it is an odd thing. Like, it's not. I have friends who are, you know, business people and doctors and engineers and lawyers and whatever else, and you show up to work, you do a great job, more clients come. Next day, you do good work for those clients, more people come, and you sort of, it really does feel like the more work you put in, the more you get out of it. And with entertainment, that's true to an extent, but there's also a lot of randomness and a lot of chance and a lot of meeting the right person at the right time. And so a lot of it is, you stay in there and eventually, hopefully, those opportunities come. But unfortunately for some people, they don't, and so there's a lot of setbacks and you have to pick yourself back up constantly.
Yeah, Donald Glover has a stand-up comedy thing, and one of his jokes is about, like, in entertainment, it's the only job where, like, every day you have to prove that you know how to do your job.
Yeah.
You go to Staples, like, you don't have to every day say, yep, I know where that stapler is. But if you're in entertainment, like, you can have
Absolutely.
something for 10 years, and you still, for the very next thing, you can be like, yep, I still know how to do this.
Yeah.
I can act. I haven't forgotten over the summer.
Yeah. I've been acting, like I've done acting and I have booked commercials for like 10 years. I've appeared in Canada in over like 30, I think, national commercials. I have an audition today at 4 o'clock that's silent on camera. That's really just me showing up and going like in a group of friends. No dialogue, just be a believable human being. For 10 years I've been doing like we
it's
just
really good at it. Sometimes he'll come back and he'll be like, today I had to watch planes fly over.
Yeah, today literally I just had to go like and like that's like you could book me for my headshot just or you know that I've done this, but yeah, it's absolutely
You've done other stuff,
every
so
day
I don't
you gotta
know
do
if
it
you remember
again
how
and
to
again.
do that again. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
thank
an
you.
alfalfa.
So yeah, no, it's crazy, but I think that's where I don't know what my life would have been like if I didn't meet Mars and I didn't make Ben's at Home. Like I think about that a lot. Like I don't know if I would have still been in it. It's just so discouraging sometimes when you don't have agency, when you don't have when you're not creating your own work. It's just constant like picking yourself up and then getting rejected and hopefully, but creating your own work allows you to have a creative outlet, to focus on something and to take some sort of control over your destiny. So I really think that saved me.